then was asked a question, I don't know if you remember, about Keir Starmer. As you can see, the heavens have opened, apparently. As you can see, I'm wearing an umbrella, but I am outside 10 Downing Street. But it's been a dramatic day in British politics. He was asked about Keir Starmer. He said he was a lovely man, and then he mentioned the fact that he messed up on energy, that he's not letting anybody drill, talking about the North Sea. And he did say that he was sort of a friend of mine, were his words. He's sort of a friend of mine, and I wish him well. But he failed on two fronts. He failed on energy and he failed on immigration. He also mentioned then crime, but those were the two main points. Before we listened to President Trump, if you remember, I was speaking to Clive Betts, who's the Labour MP for Sheffield South East. I'm hoping, Clive, that you are still with us and listening to that. What did you make there of what wonderful? What did you make of what President Trump had to say in relation to Keir Starmer? Because they had a very strong relationship, of course, right off the bat. He was called the Trump whisperer, but then that relationship soured very quickly.
Yes, and President Trump was absolutely wrong about the two issues he raised there. First of all, on immigration. Immigration has fallen to about a quarter of what it was when this government came to power. Obviously, President Trump hasn't got the message on that. And secondly, on energy, renewables are the cheapest form of electricity. The wind blows an awful lot in the United Kingdom, and we even get some sunshine occasionally. So wind turbines and solar, some days in the year now, are providing the whole of our electricity. That's where we're up to. It's a lot cheaper than burning oil and gas, though we still do have oil and gas from our North Sea because the wells have been existing, continue to provide it.
But this just shows us the job, the task at hand, Clive, when it comes to whoever becomes the next British Prime Minister. Do you have a sense of, if it is Andy Burnham, we're all expecting it to be him, how he will handle that relationship? Because it seems that some Prime Minister, I'm thinking of Meloni of Italy, has now turned her back on President Trump, speaking much more forcefully about him. How do you think Andy Burnham will handle this relationship?
With difficulty, because I think everyone has difficulty with President Trump, don't they? Because you don't get consistency. That's the problem. You're never quite sure what he's going to do next or what he's going to say next, whether he's going to like you one day and not like you the next. I think it's a very difficult job for anyone. Yes, Keir Starmer was on side with him, and he wasn't. He's fallen out with Meloni. He's fallen out with Merck in Germany. He's fallen out with most people by now. So it is very challenging and very difficult, but we have to try and find a way of working together because we're all in NATO, aren't we? Our job is to protect each other if we're attacked, and there's every possibility at some point that Russia will attack some countries in NATO in Europe, and that's a massive problem that we all have to work together and keep together to deal with.
And so this brings me back, really, Clive, to some of the concerns that I've been hearing today. Some people on the streets, we were hearing from them today. They said, if there was a leadership contest, it would test, of course, Burnham. We would get a sense of where he stands on key issues. And this is also some of the criticism from other parties in the country. How do you respond to that?
Well, first of all, Andy Burnham's got experience from the past. In the past, he's been a Treasury Minister. He's been a Secretary of State for one of our biggest departments, biggest spenders, health. So he's got experience of central government and what it involves. And then in Manchester, he's led one of the new and developing authorities as the mayor there, and has really impressed everyone, I think, up and down the country with the way he's led that authority and improved services for local people, particularly transport services. And at the same time, he is a great advocate for getting more powers away from the centre in Whitehall and Westminster and down into our local areas. He's a champion for that, and we'd expect him to continue that as Prime Minister.
Huge in tray. Clive Betts, really appreciate you staying with us as we listen there to President Trump. Thank you very much, Clive. I appreciate it.